Paper is something we use in great quantities. Like lots of things, paper can be recycled. Cara and Luke investigate other ways of dealing with rubbish, starting with a recycling project which collects from schools, businesses and 7,000 households.
As you can see, Aaron's tipping all the paper that he's collected today into the paper bay. And what upsets me when I see this paper is that most of it is only being used on one side. But basically, they're using twice as much paper as they need to. So what happens to this paper is it gets sent to Shotton Paper Mill, which is in North Wales. The paper is shredded and then it's mixed with water and pulped, and then it's put through rollers and turned into brand new paper. And from your paper ending up in this paper bay, to being sent to Shotton, to being turned into a new piece of paper and then ending it back in the shops, that can take just 7 days.
As the Buddha taught, everything has consequences. Our recycling leads to new things being made from recycled materials. Recycling companies can't afford to recycle unless we also buy recycled things. Loads of other things can be recycled too, such as computers.
I think there's a really, really, really big problem with computers in this country, because people have computers and they're working perfectly fine, but they get thrown away every 3 years.
They can't magically turn old washing machines into new ones, but they do collect them, mend them and sell them on very cheaply.
It means that those broken washing machines aren't being sent to landfill to rot away for thousands of years.
Then there are all the discs we throw away every day, which take hundreds of years to break down in a landfill.
So they can be recycled like most forms of plastic, and they're actually really valuable. They're worth about £300 a tonne.
And batteries, which can be a problem if they end up in a landfill, which isn't sealed safely.
Batteries actually have loads of acid inside them, and if it leaks in the landfill, then it may end up in our groundwater, polluting our rivers and the sea.
In any case, it makes far more sense to use rechargeable batteries.
Batteries are incredibly inefficient. It takes 50 times more energy to make a battery than the energy that they actually store.
On the other hand, it takes less energy to make new cans from old ones than to make new ones from scratch. This wholesale fruit and vegetable market supplies shops all over the city of Manchester. 10 to 20 tonnes of rotten food have to be thrown away every day. Most of the food we throw away goes into landfill, but today Cara and Luke investigate a much better way to deal with uncooked fruit and vegetable waste. You can turn it into compost, which is a natural fertiliser. This composting project is based at the fruit and vegetable market.
Once we've taken the plastic off and that's gone for recycling, this is what's left. And this will go into the composting process. This provides the nitrogen for the compost. So you see the big green machine over there, that's a shredder. So we put 2,500 kilograms of fruit and veg in. We mix in the woody material over there. That's come out of gardens and parks and all sorts of places. And that goes in as the carbon, because we need the carbon and the nitrogen to make a good compost mix. So once the guys are happy that that feed's ready, they put it into these composting units at the back. And it stays in there for 7 days. We don't need to shred it because it will all rot down eventually, but if you imagine that, if you imagine the bacteria trying to eat that, it's quite hard. So what we do is we break it up and make as much surface area for the bacteria to work on as possible to make decent compost. What we do inside, we'll do it in 7 days, whereas if you do it at home, it might take a year. So these are the composting units. So once we've got the compost in the shredder, and we're happy with it, it's got the right moisture content, then we feed it into these composting units. Okay, and we've got 6 composting units there.
How hot does it get inside?
Well, at the top, we get temperatures of around about 70 degrees Celsius.
What about at the bottom?
What will happen is the temperatures will drop off, so at the bottom we're looking at temperatures of around about 50 degrees Celsius. To the top, we get a bird's eye view of the whole site. As you can see, we're in the trees. So this is it, we're stood on the compost. And look, you can see the market, you can see our compost, and we can see the whole process from up here. this is how the compost comes out. So that's been inside for 7 days. We've had the temperatures to make sure that all of the seeds are killed off. But what we need to do now is stack it in these piles here to mature it. So all we do is we just put it into big piles and we just let nature do its thing. So we keep it like that for 6 weeks, and then we put it through this machine over here, which sieves out the wood and gives us our nice compost on the other side. That's our compost that would go out onto people's allotments or someone's house, to the parks, anywhere. But smell that.
It smells really earthy.
It does smell earthy, doesn't it? So we know that's ready. And look at the colour. I mean, that's black, isn't it, that colour? So it's just full of goodness that we can give to the soil, make the soil healthy, and then in turn grow decent plants.